हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, कैसे हैं आप सभी? कैसे चल रही है आप लोग की प्रिपरेशन? न्यूज़पेपर रेगुलर कर रहे हैं? सो देयर इज आई एम नॉट स्टार्टिंग द डे विद एनी कोट गिवन बाय एनीबडी एल्स, बट एक चीज़ मैं आप लोगों से कहना चाहती हूँ बिफोर वी स्टार्ट न्यूज़पेपर डिस्कशन इज दैट हैविंग द राइट माइंडसेट फॉर UPSC exam is very much important. What do you think who clear prelims or who make their name in the final list, what difference do they have with the one who have not cleared? I think it's the right mindset. At right mindset ही है जो UPSC में सक्सेसफुल बनाता है किसी को. तो right mindset का क्या मतलब होता है? How do you develop it? You develop it by looking at previous year question paper, understanding over the years how UPSC has been asking the question. ठीक है, and also side by side looking at your syllabus every day, connecting whatever you read from your newspaper with the syllabus and applying it in solving questions and also writing mains. ठीक है, and whoever clear prelims does not that mean, or whoever clear the final exam does not mean they are more intelligent. It's just that they have the right mindset, and right mindset, as I said, comes with looking at the PYQs every day, connecting whatever you read from your newspaper with the main syllabus and applying that knowledge in answer writing. So with this, let's start our day with the daily newspaper analysis. So the first article, the first news which we will cover is Uniform Civil Code draft gets Uttarakhand cabinet nod. The one news is on page 4, and we will combine this with page number 8. There is an article, Uttarakhand's Uniform Civil Code. So we'll read these two articles in integrated manner because the content is same. Okay? And the second article which we will be reading is a Sunshine Initiative, page number 6. The third article is about the path towards a pluralist civil society. एंड मैं आपको बता दूं, सिविल सोसाइटी और NGO के बारे में हमने बहुत डिटेल से फर्स्ट फ्यू क्लासेस ऑफ न्यूज़पेपर 7, 8, 9 जनवरी को जो हमने किया था उसमें हमने कवर किया है सिविल सोसाइटी क्या होता है, NGO क्या है, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन व्हाट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ अ सिविल सोसाइटी इन सेक्युलर कंट्री, यू नो, एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स. सो प्लीज गो बैक टू दैट सेशन एंड डू वॉच. The fourth article which we will look at is a major revamp needed for Dharani. This is a portal for land record modernization, computerization of land record. So we will look at this with the basics behind it, like what is land record, what is digitalization of land record, why it is important, what is the significance of it. So with all these different aspects about land record modernization, we will read about it. So let's begin our day with the first article in detail, and that is Uniform Civil Code draft gets Uttarakhand cabinet nod, page 4, and combined with page 8 newspaper. The significance of this article is it can occur in Indian society, GS paper 1 का part है, ठीक है. So and also this will become important for you for prelims point of view as well, because there in this particular news article there is a reference to article 15, article 16, article 162, various judgments of Supreme Court, what is meaning of Uniform Civil Code. All these things in this article has been covered in very much detail. So let's first read the article and reconstruct it. Go to page number 8 directly. On Uttarakhand's civil code. Okay. So look at this article, how enriched it is, all the information. The first, you must read the subheading. What was the question which has been mentioned in this? What was the debate surrounding the UCC in the Constituent Assembly? Can a state government implement? So if someone asks you, can a state government implement a statewide UCC? So what is the constitution provision which enables the states to bring their own UCC? Is it possible for states to bring UCC at state level, or is it just center's decision to bring UCC? So a third question which has asked, which this article asks, is why has the Supreme Court not given a definite order regarding implementation of UCC? So in his सबका answer in this article, the writer writes, you know, इसमें क्या क्या बोलता है, what all has been written in this। तो पहले चलिए इसको डीकंस्ट्रक्ट करते हैं, ठीक है, इस पूरे आर्टिकल को। तो सबसे पहले what is UCC, यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड। तो सबसे पहले इसके बारे में हम जो समझेंगे वो ये है कि यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड what is UCC, is there any constitutional provision, ठीक है। तो सबसे पहले हम जानेंगे यूसीसी क्या है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन क्या है, और जो थर्ड चीज हम ये समझेंगे कि व्हाट इज द डिबेट इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली, यू नो, एंड देन जो आर्टिकल है फर्दर इट टॉक्स अबाउट द डिबेट behind UCC in Constituent Assembly, ठीक है। And the fourth dimension which we will cover is Uttarakhand's draft UCC and changes it has proposed. What? Uttarakhand draft UCC and the changes it has proposed. Then next what we will look at is Supreme Court and its judgment. इसमें हम शाहबानो केस का रेफरेंस देखेंगे, सलाम मुदगल केस का रेफरेंस देखेंगे, एंड देन देयर वाज अ पिटीशन जो इस आर्टिकल में है, देन देयर वाज अ पिटीशन व्हिच वाज filed in Supreme Court and this was dismissed. There was a petition in Supreme Court and this was dismissed. इस पिटिशन में कहा गया था that please petitioner were seeking Supreme Court's decision on bringing UCC. Supreme Court rejected the petition saying that it is the Parliament's prerogative, not Supreme Court's. So ये petition dismiss कर दिया गया था। एक और petition आया था that it is challenged the Uttarakhand's decision to bring UCC. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इसको भी रिजेक्ट कर दिया गया था। पिटिशन में कहा गया था हाउ कैन अ स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ब्रिंग यूसीसी, तो उसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कंप्लीटली रिजेक्ट कर दिया था इस पिटिशन को, सेइंग दैट स्टेट्स कैन ब्रिंग देयर ओन यूसीसी साइटिंग सम आर्टिकल्स फ्रॉम द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन दैट वी विल लुक फ्रॉम द आर्टिकल। एंड देन नेक्स्ट जो हम पढ़ेंगे वो ये पढ़ेंगे कि लॉ कमीशन, लॉ कमीशन क्या कहती है यूसीसी पे, 21st लॉ कमीशन एंड 22nd लॉ कमीशन के व्यूज हमारे पास अवेलेबल है, ठीक है। एंड देन व्हाट नेक्स्ट वी विल लुक एट इज सम वे फॉरवर्ड, यूसीसी लाना चाहिए नहीं लाना चाहिए, ठीक है। उसके बाद हम एक प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन करेंगे। सो दिस इज हाउ यू डीकंस्ट्रक्ट। सबसे पहले यूसीसी क्या है, देन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बेसिस प्रोविजंस क्या हैं यूसीसी के लिए, डिबेट्स इन दी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली अबाउट ऑल व्हाट ऑल आर व्यूज अवेलेबल टू अस फ्रॉम द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली, हम ये देखेंगे इस आर्टिकल के थ्रू। और जो यूके का ड्राफ्ट यूसीसी है, व्हाट इज इट ऑल अबाउट, व्हाट प्रोविजन, व्हाट चेंजेस दैट इज ब्रॉट। एंड देन नेक्स्ट इज सुप्रीम कोर्ट्स एंड इज जजमेंट, जहाँ पे पिटिशनर से हाउ ऑल द पिटिशंस वर रिजेक्टेड बाय सुप्रीम कोर्ट साइटिंग व्हाट ऑल बेसिस फ्रॉम द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। देन नेक्स्ट वी विल सी लॉ कमीशन, 21st 22nd law commission views, and then some way forward what could be the possible solution behind bringing UCC or not bringing UCC. All right, and then a practice question. Let's take this in detail. What does UCC aim to? UCC seeks to create a uniform set of laws to replace the distinct personal laws of every religion pertaining to subjects such as marriage, divorce, adoption and inheritance. Article 44 of Indian Constitution, which mandates that the state shall endeavour to secure for the citizen a uniform civil code through directive principle of state policy, which although not enforceable, play a pivotal role in governance. तो पहला पॉइंट जो हमने नोट किया, that is Article 44 of Indian Constitution, that's the basis to bring UCC. Next, अब the next which I said that we will talking about through this article is the Debates in the Constituent Assembly. So we have 4-5 views from Constituent Assembly. Let's look at that. जो opponents थे about the people who did not support for UCC, उनका view क्या था? The first is that it would dilute the rights of religious minorities in India and destroys diversity. Member Naziruddin Ahmed from Bengal argued that it would come in way of Article 19 of Draft Constitution and Article 25, which guarantees the fundamental right to freedom of religion subject to reasonable restrictions. Reasonable restrictions क्या है Article 25 में? Public order, morality and health. And so he said it does not cover anything related to bringing uniform civil code. So it was one of the opponent view. Another जो view available है from Constituent Assembly for UCC is K.M. Munshi's. He contended that a UCC would not defeat the principle of freedom of religion. He was in favor of bringing UCC. So what was how he proposed this favorable view for UCC? He said that it would not defeat the principle of freedom of religion, since the state is empowered to make laws related to religious practices if they were intended for social reform. ठीक है? He highlighted various benefits. Benefits क्या होंगे if UCC is brought in view of K.M. Munshi is that since personal laws, he highlighted various benefits such as promoting equality. It will bring equality, gender justice, equality between men and women. Since personal laws often prevent the elimination of discriminatory practices against women. So this was K.M. Munshi's view. एक बैलेंस एक ओपोनेंट का व्यू है, एक सपोर्ट में है यूसीसी के व्यू, एंड द थर्ड इज डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर्स व्यू व्हिच इज अ बैलेंस्ड व्यू. व्हाट ही सेड अबाउट यूसीसी इज दैट ऑल्दो यूसीसी वाज डिजायरेबल, it should remain purely voluntarily. So he said he was in favor of UCC, but he said that it should not be forced on people. It should be voluntarily. And during the initial stages, he stated that since the provisions was merely recommendatory, it should not be imposed upon all citizens. The matter was settled because there was a view in 5:4 ratio. So it was decided that with the subcommittee on fundamental rights headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, deciding that establishing UCC should not fall within fundamental rights. So if question comes asking that why UCC was not made part of the fundamental rights, why it was put in directive principle of state policy, so you can cite Dr. Ambedkar's balancing view, and you can say that people who supported not forcing or not bringing UCC at that stage itself, you can provide the view, and this should answer the question. What about Uttarakhand UCC? As I said in our mind map, that next what we will be referring is debate. We have looked at constitutional provision. What is UCC? Debate in Constituent Assembly. Next is UK's draft UCC. What is it about? Supreme Court in June 2022, Uttarakhand Government Constituent Expert Committee headed by former Supreme Court Judge Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai to examine ways for implementing UCC. Further, it says what changes can be expected. This is very much important paragraph. Please read carefully. The draft UCC is set to focus on gender equality. It is talking about Uttarakhand's draft UCC by introducing provisions that treat men and women equally, especially in matters pertaining to inheritance. It will also revoke practices governing marriage and divorce such as polygamy, iddat, mandatory period of waiting to be observed by women following the dissolution of Muslim marriage. So there is a practice called iddat. So all these things will be revoked if Uttarakhand's draft UCC is implemented. Next, the code is also likely to extend an equal property share to Muslim women against the existing 25%. अभी जो है 25% शेयर ही मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ के हिसाब से women are entitled to get, but when this will be implemented fully, women will have the half rights over the property. Okay, and the next is, however, the minimum age of marriage for men and women is set to remain the same, 18 years for women and 20 years, so it has not been changed. Next is other issues such as divorce, marriage, registrations, adoption and social security for aging parents will also be covered under the law. So if please note down the divorce, marriage, registrations, adoption and social security for aging parents will also be covered. in this law. The committee has reportedly also prescribed the mandatory registration of live-in relationship. So this is also one of the provisions of this UCC draft Uttarakhand. So there will be a mandatory registration of live-in relationship also. It's just not talk about married couples. What has the Supreme Court said? So there is a landmark judgment of Shah Banu Begum case of 1985. Please note it down. And then another few of the articles, few of the cases I will be mentioning. Sarla Mudgal versus Union of India 1995 and John Vallamattam versus Union of India 2003. These are the cases related to UCC, judgment related to UCC. Please note it down and mention it in your answer. Next is reviving the push for UCC. 6 petitions were filed in Supreme Court. So one of the petitions which were filed in Supreme Court seeking to bring UCC, and Supreme Court declined the petition, citing that it is the Parliament's responsibility, not judiciary's, to bring UCC. So वो जो petition है, what was the basis of that petition? Seeking uniformity in divorce, maintenance and alimony laws on the ground that they discriminated against women, thereby violating Article 14. जो इस petition favor में जो था petition UCC लाने के, उसमें petition में जो बोला गया था that what is the basis of why they seek this UCC. So they say, in the petitioner said that it violates Article 14, right to equality, and Article 15, right against discrimination based on religion and gender of the Constitution. So Article 14, Article 15, according to petitioner, are in support of bringing UCC, but Supreme Court declined this petition, saying that such issues fall within the exclusive domain of Parliament. Now, next is the court dismissed the petition challenging the Uttarakhand government. So there was another petition in which petitioner said that how come a state government bring UCC. So now this is very important. This might appear in prelims also and mains also. So you have to know what is the basis of Uttarakhand state governments bringing UCC. So please read. Next, in January last year, the court dismissed the petition challenging the Uttarakhand government's move to set up an expert committee on UCC, highlighting that Article 162. Supreme Court dismissed the petition and highlighted under Article 162, it permits the exercise of such powers. Article 1, please read Article 162 from your bare act, which says, Article 160 of the Constitution indicates that the executive power of state extends to matters, जो executive power of state की होती है, that extends to the matters with respect to which the legislature of state has power to make laws in view of provision of entry 5 of the concurrent list. So entry 5 of the concurrent list of the 7th schedule. So जो various list है, सूची जिसको हिंदी में बोलते हैं सूची से सात सूची, तो आप याद कर सकते हैं जो ये various subjects हैं जो categorically that have been put are put in 7th schedule of Indian Constitution. Entry 5 of concurrent list says that some of the petitions included Bijli, here. Of the 7th schedule, the constitutional committee per se cannot be challenged as ultra-vires. The order read, entry 5 of the concurrent list deals with, so what does concurrent list entry 5 deals? And that is, it deals with marriage and divorce, infants and minors, adoptions, wills, intestacy and succession, joint family and partition, all matters in respect of which parties in judicial proceedings were immediately before the commencement of this constitution subject to their personal law. So you see, this is a provision in entry 5 concurrent list of 7th schedule, based on which Uttarakhand government could bring such draft UCC. So that is the reason, that is the basis given by Supreme Court itself of dismissing the petition which were brought against the UCC draft of Uttarakhand. So next, what has the Law Commission said? So this becomes important for us, that says, in 2016, the BJP government requested the Law Commission of India to determine how to formulate a uniform code given the existence of thousands of personal law. There are thousands of personal law in the country, and then how UCC can be brought? So the government of the day requested Law Commission to bring up views, and then in 2018, 21st Law Commission headed by former Supreme Court Justice, Supreme Court Judge Balbir Singh Chauhan submitted a 185-page consultation paper on reforms of family law, wherein it observed that the formulation of uniform civil code. So 21st Law Commission ke views, please note it down and write it in your answer. 21st Law Commission said that reforms of family law, wherein it observed that the formulation of uniform civil code is neither necessary nor desirable at this stage. So it is not necessary nor desirable to bring UCC at this stage. The report stated that the unified nation did not necessarily need uniformity. Unified nation, one nation does not need uniformity in laws, adding that secularism could not contradict the plurality prevalent in the country. So there is, the Indian society is characterized by plurality. It is a plural society. So uniformity should not compromise plurality. That is what 21st Law Commission stated. And it, however, recommended that discriminatory practices and stereotypes within existing personal law should be amended. So while saying that such uniformity in personal laws, given the nature of plural society which India has, it is not necessary nor desirable to bring the UCC kind of law, but it said that yes, it is just, you know, hinted that it could be talked upon and it could be brought while taking all the stakeholders in account. Then 22nd Law Commission headed by Justice Rituraj Awasthi issued a notification to elicit views from various stakeholders. So जो 22nd Law Commission थी, that cited, that tried to bring the views of various stakeholders in this respect. And Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court, Justice Awasthi, had ruled in favor of Karnataka government's order prohibiting hijab in educational institutions. So it hinted to bring something or to take actions in favor of UCC. Whether the centre is likely to propose UCC at pan-India level is debatable. It will perhaps treat cautiously and await the outcome of exercise undertaken by individual state first. The anticipated report of 22nd Law Commission is also likely to be persuasive value. So the report is yet to be made public, is yet to be released, and that could be in favor of bringing UCC at the all India level. That is all. That is what this article lastly talks about. Last paragraph mein there's a line: scope and ambit of the right to freedom of religion under Article 25 of the Constitution. So Article 20, please read Article 25, and also there is a reference to Sabrimala case as well. So you can have a little bit of reading on Sabrimala case as well and connect it with Article 25. Let's see some notes and content. So the question, let's take a PYQ. As I said in the beginning, while we were deconstructing the article, what do you understand by Uniform Civil Code? Examine its relevance for a secular country like India and challenge in its implementation. 250 words mein you have to handle this question. Now just go back to article, think what all you read. We read about UCC, we read what it is, various judgments, petitions, constitutional basis of UCC, and then constitutional basis of state government of Uttarakhand bringing a draft UCC, also 21st Law Commission and 22nd Law Commission's views, and also we read about the views in the Constituent Assembly. Now tell me, based on that article, cannot you handle this question? I think it's easy to handle this question. So in introduction, write a little bit about Uniform Civil Code. Okay, you can introduce your answer by writing about UCC, that all sections of the society, irrespective of their religion, shall be treated equally according to a national civil code which shall be applicable to all uniformly. It shall cover areas like marriage, divorce, maintenance, inheritance, adoption and succession of the property. It has been clearly mentioned in the article which we read. It is based on the premise that there is no connection between religion and law. What is the premise based on which the UCC can be implemented is that there is no connection between religion and law in modern civilization. In modern civilized society, there should not be any link between religion and laws. It should be distinct. So this is the basis of bringing UCC. What is the relevance of UCC for secular country like India? This is how you write your main body. So you have to write about secularism, you have to write about how it ensures gender justice, and you have to write that how it helps to adhere to constitutional vision. You can mention here about Article 15, Article 14, Article 162, and then Article 25, you can, and gender justice, etc. So this is the constitutional vision. This is completely based on the article which we read. That's a quite enriching article. उसके बाद एक बहुत आप शाह बानो केस के बारे में पढ़ा, you can give this reference, and there is Sarala Mudgal also has been mentioned in the article. One extra thing which I have added is you can mention Portuguese Civil Code of 1867 in Goa is a shining example and should be a model for entire country. Goa is part of India, ठीक है? So if it can practice Portuguese Civil Code of 1867, which ensures all these points, secularism, ensuring justice, adhering to constitutional vision, why can't entire India adapt to such laws? Why not? So this is a shining example you can mention. Next point, challenges, because this is of 250 words, and when you write what is UCC, when you write what all significance or benefits it has, you have to also mention a little bit about challenges in its implementation. तो challenges क्या हैं? First thing तो आप mention कर सकते हो, there is this is, and it has also been mentioned in the article, कि there is the India is of plural society. In order to bring uniformity, are we not compromising with plurality? So this one point you can mention straight away. So the second is difficulty in formation of common laws. Common law लाना ही मुश्किल है, इतने सारे personal law, thousands of personal law है, उनको आप कैसे एक यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड ला करके कैसे आप यूनिफॉर्मली कैसे उसको आप इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हो? दैट इज द चैलेंज. Plurality of Indian society, as we said, threat to territorial integrity. The idea of UCC faces opposition from different cultural groups because there are different cultural groups. So people, there will be a feeling of alienation. All right, and then when there will be alienation, don't you think it is a threat to territorial integrity? Politicization of the issue, ठीक है? So जो UCC लाना है, that is like it is perceived as imposition of majoritarian views, ठीक है? Because Muslims are the minority and other group are in minority, so this could be attempt to bring majoritarian view that is that it will be perceived as enforcing the majoritarian views. So this is one critical point. Non-justifiable nature of DPSP. DPSP is non-justiciable. All right, do we understand what is meaning of DPSP being non-justifiable? So please look at that. You see mentioned in Article 44, Part 4A, Directive Principle of State Policy, which says that the state shall endeavour to secure for citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. DPSP is not only guidelines which can be implemented as per time and situation. So don't you think, even though DPSP is non-justifiable, as this Article 44 is part of the DPSP, so and it also mentioned that DPSP के जो guidelines है, that can be implemented over the time by seeing the situation and time prevalent at that particular era. So because justiciable है, so is it not a time to bring non-justifiable UCC into fundamental rights, making it justifiable? So this also is a challenge because it is in DPSP and DPSP are non-justifiable. So this is also leaves a question, a challenge. Conclusion में आपको क्या लिखना है? Law Commission का आप दे सकते हैं mention, ठीक है? And because as we also read in the article, it is neither necessary nor desirable. Then you can, because there is an improvement on in 22nd Law Commission, you can mention that now 21st Law Commission though said it is not necessary, neither necessary nor desirable at this time, but 22nd Law Commission has sought views from all the stakeholders. So this could be a way ahead for bringing UCC. So there is a need for the codification of personal laws. Personal laws are not codified, so that prejudices and stereotypes in every one of them would come to light and can be tested on the anvil of fundamental rights of the Constitution. these are the views you can mention and codification. इसमें भी आप जो है गोवा का एग्जाम्पल इसमें भी दे सकते हैं आप कंक्लूजन में भी. So last point, meanwhile the judiciary and the legislature should continue with this piecemeal approach in reforming illegitimate cultural practice like triple talaq law. This also can mention. So this is how you can conclude the answer, and this is all about UCC. You don't need to read anything else. So if you can cover, please take the screenshot of the content which I have showed, and that's how you can build your answer. Next article is about a sunshine initiative, page 6. Please go to page 6. This is important for GS paper 3 economy section. So what is it about? Article में कुछ खास पढ़ने के लिए नहीं है, ठीक है, but you can connect this new sunshine initiative. This is about solar energy. Article, there is nothing, though there is no much piece of content which you can take away from the article, but I would like you to connect it with one of the schemes which was brought, and that is Pradhan Mantri Suryoday Yojana. ठीक है. So this becomes important for us. Pradhan Mantri Suryoday Yojana. This we have to cover in terms with point of view, important point of view for prelims, for mains, both. So what we all will be covering is, we'll be covering about the scheme, prelims pointers में पूछे जा सकते हैं. इसके बाद जो हमको कवर करने की जरूरत में, why there is a need to increase solar energy proportion. And third, which we need to cover in this, what is current solar capacity. जो solar energy capacity की हम बात कर रहे हैं, why there is a need to increase the solar energy capacity. Then it is also important, next question जो हमारे लिए आ जाता है, वो जानना ये जरूरी हो जाता है कि अभी current solar capacity क्या है. Current solar capacity. And the next which we need to remember, understand, is significance of this scheme. ये जो scheme है इसकी significance जानेंगे, ठीक है. And the next which we will understand is how this scheme helps India achieve its climate pledge. There is a climate pledge because of the deteriorating climatic condition, environmental condition. So India has pledged something. ठीक है, climate pledge. We'll understand what is the commitment of India, what is the climate pledge, how Pradhan Mantri Suryoday Yojana will help the country India to complete or to fulfill its climate pledge. So, and then we'll look for some way ahead. Challenges of this scheme, what are the challenges which we face in implementing this scheme. All right, all these things will be covering in detail. और challenges and benefits देखने के बाद, it is important we understand a balancing view. Then we will look at the way forward, and then we'll conclude with some practice question. So what is about this scheme? So PT pointer, 1 crore household. The target is 1 crore household. It focuses on low and middle income individuals. So 1 crore household, low and middle income individuals पे household पे focus है, ठीक है. And the scheme would help not only reduce electricity bill. So एक तीर से दो निशान, क्या 1 crore household को target कर रहा है, low and middle income, तो ना कि सिर्फ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल को रिड्यूस करना टारगेट है ऑफ पुअर एंड मिडिल क्लास, बट ऑल्सो पुश इंडियाज गोल ऑफ बिकमिंग सेल्फ रिलायंट इन एनर्जी सेक्टर. मैं तो बल्कि बोलूँगी एक तीर से तीन निशान, बल्कि इट ऑल्सो इज टारगेटिंग is helping India to meet its climate pledge also, that we will cover in later part of the pages and discussion. Benefits क्या है इसके? Reduce electricity bills, increase energy dependence and self reliance for households, additional income generation होगा through surplus electricity production. अगर surplus electricity production हो रहा है per household से, तो they can also have, there is a provision in this scheme, they can also trade and decrease their tariff, that we will look at. Meaning and launch, so Prime Minister launched it and national campaign के through रहेगा. There will be a comprehensive national campaign about to mobilize and encourage widespread adoption of rooftop solar among residential consumers. Next, need for an expansion of solar energy in India. Why there is a need for expansion of solar energy in India? ठीक है, according to latest report of World Energy Outlook by International Energy Agency IEA, India is expected to witness largest energy demand growth of any country, region in the world over next 30 years. तो भाई सोलर एनर्जी की इसलिए इंडिया में ज़रूरत है कि IEA बोल रहा है इंडिया इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू विटनेस लार्जेस्ट एनर्जी डिमांड, और बढ़ेगी जैसे जैसे क्लाइमेट चेंज होगा, ग्लोबल वार्मिंग होगी और गर्मी बढ़ेगी, लोग और AC यूज़ करेंगे, मोर इक्विपमेंट्स विल बी, इलेक्ट्रिक इक्विपमेंट्स विल बी यूज. सो इन दैट outlook, with that outlook, it is important that India increases solar energy capacity. IEA is intergovernmental organization. IEA के बारे में थोड़ा सा दिया हुआ है, please look and read about it. You can take a screenshot and read the factual information. The next line, 2 lines are about IEA. Then there is a last point which is about, although India has doubled down its coal production in recent years, it also aims to reach 500 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by 2030. So this is a few things about why India needs to increase its solar energy capacity, and what IEA has quoted. India's current solar capacity क्या है? Please take a screenshot of this and complete your notes and with the discussion and newspaper about all about Pradhan Mantri Suryodaya Yojana, plus about India solar capacity, current क्या है, factual informations, and then we will also connect it with climate pledge of India. So ये सब एक साथ holistically आपका cover हो जाएगा. Please take a screenshot and attach it with your topic of solar energy. तो आपका काफ़ी comprehensive तरीके से it can be covered. You don't need to read from anything else. मैं इतना सारा content आपको इसीलिए provide कर रही हूँ through PPT. It's like a notes for you. तो आप इसको अपने आर्टिकल के साथ अटैच कर लेना. सो दिस विल हेल्प यू टू कॉम्प्रेहेंसिवली कवर दिस आर्टिकल. आपको कुछ और कहीं से पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं. इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी कितनी है? मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ न्यू एंड रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी सोलर पावर इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी इन इंडिया हैज़ रीच अराउंड 73.3 गीगावाट ऑफ दिसंबर 2023 का डेटा है. मीनवाइल rooftop solar install capacity is around 11.08 gigawatt of December 2023. Overall, solar power has major share in the country's current renewable energy capacity, which stands at 180 gigawatt. These are the facts you need to remember. High performing states कौन-कौन से हैं? राजस्थान, ठीक है, is at the top with 18 gigawatt of. Gujarat is at the second position with 10.5 gigawatt of solar energy. So, and when it comes to rooftop solar capacity, Gujarat tops the list. In terms of solar energy, total solar energy capacity में राजस्थान टॉप करता है. In terms of rooftop solar capacity, Gujarat is at the top with and followed by Maharashtra. All right. Then next thing which you need to understand, what is the significance of Pradhan Mantri Suryodaya Yojana? Take a screenshot so that later on you can revise. Pradhan Mantri Suryodaya Yojana promises significant benefits for both individual, household and the nation as a whole. So these are significance point. It is a clean, affordable energy option. ठीक है, the scheme can reduce dependence on conventional, often carbon-intensive electricity sources. Lower electricity bill can be achieved. It will empower the household with energy independence and potential income generation. Next, how does the scheme help India achieve its climate pledge? So India, as the climate, there are climate changes, there is a global warming. So at the international national level, there are various initiatives and pledges by each country which has been taken. India also has pledged its climate pledge. So what are all pledges India has made? There is a nationally determined contribution. India has pledged for nationally determined contribution and submitted to this United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC are multifaceted and ambitious. Key pledges क्या है? Emission intensity reduction, carbon sink enhancement. These are the climatic pledge. थोड़ा सा मैं आपको interconnected points बता रही हूँ. Though I could have skipped discussing climate pledge, but प्रधानमंत्री सूर्योदय योजना, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री सूर्योदय योजना से जो हमारे climatic pledges हैं, that can be fulfilled. तो ये उसके सेंस में है. तो आप एक बार just go through it, take a screenshot. I'll give you a second. So these are the points: carbon sink enhancement, net zero target. All these are the climatic pledge of India. The updated NDC is a positive step. NDC is a positive step forward for India's climate action. However, it's important to note that NDC is not legally binding. India will need to take concrete steps to implement the NDC to achieve the targets. That is why, because it is not legally binding, so India need to take concrete steps. उसके लिए प्रधानमंत्री सूर्योदय योजना. How प्रधानमंत्री सूर्योदय योजना is going to help is going to contribute to complete its climatic pledge? Reduction in greenhouse gases. Why repetition here? Lowered carbon intensity. It will help in improved energy security and self-reliance. So these are the point you can talk about the significance of Pradhan Mantri Suryodaya Yojana. Yeah, renewable energy share. It can increase additional benefits. क्या है? Carbon sink enhancement, improved air quality and job creation. So these are the points you can take away for while there is a question to write about the significance of Pradhan Mantri Suryodaya Yojana. You can take this point. Next, what are the challenges? Challenges क्या है? And uncertainties क्या है? Which the government is facing to implement this scheme, this yojana. Implementation and coverage, effective rollout, access to financing for low-income household and proper integration with the grid will be crucial. Technology and efficiency भी एक challenge है. Advancements in solar technology and efficient utilization of general energy are needed to maximize input. Policy support and sustainability की भी there is a challenge. Long-term commitment to financial incentives and supportive policies will be essential. Fourth, initial investment भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा upfront cost है installing का. There is a huge cost involved in installing rooftop solar. That is a barrier. Next is grid integration. Integrating large-scale rooftop solar generation into the existing grid infrastructure needs careful planning and management to maintain grid stability and efficiency. This is not connected to the solar rooftops solar जो energy है, that is not connected to main grid. That is also one of the challenges. Capacity building भी एक challenge है. Awareness and technical expertise बहुत ज़्यादा चाहिए. There will be need of lot of skill and imparting and training, so that they can be brought technical expertise about rooftop solar installation and maintenance. So these are the challenges which government is facing to bring complete the target of Pradhan Mantri Suryodaya Yojana. Next, way forward, there is always a balancing point which you should mention when you are mentioning significance and then challenges. Then obviously you have to put forth some brighter picture as well for future. So this one thing you can mention, that while the launch marks a significant steps, details regarding eligibility criteria, financial support mechanism and rollout plan are still awaited. More information from the government will be crucial to understand the scheme's specific implementation and its potential impact on targeted households and the Indian energy landscape. Overall, now you give a positive aspect that Pradhan Mantri Suryodaya Yojana represents a promising initiative towards a brighter future powered by clean renewable energy. Its success will be dependent on effective implementation, जो कि challenge है, जो हमने challenge पढ़ा, outreach and sustained support participating households. So this is all about second article. हमने अभी तक क्या क्या cover कर लिया? Uniform Civil Code, a Sunshine Initiative. The third, which we will talk is civil society. लेकिन ये हमने पहले से काफ़ी cover कर रखा है. I would like you to go back and watch first few sessions of the Hindu discussion. I have covered in detail civil society. जो ये article है उसमें कुछ खास पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है, काफी the path towards pluralist civil society, इसमें कुछ नहीं है पढ़ने के लिए. Preamble appears to have dispensed with socialist secular. अभी अगर आपने न्यूज़ देखा होगा उसमें ये था कि ड्यूरिंग इनॉग्रल सेशन ऑफ न्यू पार्लियामेंट कंट्रोवर्सी इरप्टेड. जो इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की कॉपी बांटी गई थी पार्लियामेंट में जब इनॉग्रेशन हो रहा था न्यू पार्लियामेंट का, तो उसमें एक कॉपी बांटी गई थी. उसमें जो ये सोशलिस्ट एंड सेकुलर, उससे पहले वाला जो प्रियम्बल था, ये दोनों वर्ड्स ऐड करने के बाद उससे पहले वाला जो प्रियम्बल था वो पार्लियामेंट में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हुआ था. सो दिस आर्टिकल इज डिस्कसिंग समथिंग अबाउट प्लूरल सोसाइटी एक्सेट्रा. एक पॉइंट है, द प्रियम्बल एक्सप्लिसिटली anchors the legitimizing ends of republic in terms of securing justice, liberty and equality. So you can skip this article. There is not much to read about it. Sunshine Initiative हमने पढ़ लिया है. सिविल सोसाइटी एंड NGO का रोल क्या है सोसाइटी में फॉर मेकिंग अ बेटर एंड डेमोक्रेटिक सोसाइटी, आप जाके फर्स्ट फ्यू सेशंस में देख सकते हैं, बहुत डिटेल से कवर किया गया था. दैट इज व्हाट आई नीडेड टू मेंशन. उसके बाद जो हमारा लास्ट आर्टिकल है, मेजर रिवैम्प नीडेड फॉर धारानी. तो धारानी क्या है ये देखेंगे हम. तो इसमें हम क्या पढ़ेंगे, इस आर्टिकल के थ्रू क्या जानेंगे कि व्हाट इज डिजिटाइजेशन. दिस आर्टिकल इज अबाउट land records. आपके GS पेपर 3 में ये बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट मेंशन है सिलेबस में, तो दिस विल बिकम इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर यू. तो धारानी क्या है, पोर्टल का नेम है for land record digitization. What we all be covering about it is why digitization of land is important. Why digitization of land? इसके बेनिफिट्स क्या हैं, चैलेंजेस क्या हैं. What are the benefits of digitizing the land records? What is the challenges which is being faced while there is a digitization of land? And then further, which we will cover is bit of some land record digitization initiatives by various states. So we'll be covering some initiatives brought by various states in India about digitization of the land and what the benefits. Then we'll look at some way forward. Computerization of land records. The first point, modernization of land records management system, MRMS, unique identification number for property होगा. जैसे हमारा आधार कार्ड होता है, there will be unique identification number for the property. Digitized cadastral maps, पूरे land का there will be map. And computerized land record होगा, computerized registration records भी होगा. So this is about digitization of the land records. What is digitization of land records? What is all about? It was introduced to computerize all land records, including mutations, improve transparency in land records, maintain maintenance system, digitize maps and survey, update all settlement records and minimize the scope of the land disputes. अगर पूरे इंडिया में देखा जाए तो बहुत लार्ज चंक ऑफ द केसेस, लार्ज पोर्शन ऑफ द केसेस जो पेंडिंग है बिफोर द जुडिशरी इज अबाउट लैंड रिलेटेड डिस्प्यूट. ठीक है, तो ये लैंड रिकॉर्ड का जो डिजिटाइजेशन है ये बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है और ये अक्सर न्यूज़ में रहता है. तो आज हम इसको होलिस्टिकली कवर कर लेंगे जिससे आपको और ज़्यादा कहीं से कुछ भी पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं इसके बारे में. काफ़ी डिटेल से मैंने कवर किया है, आप पूरा इसको ध्यान से पढ़िए, ठीक है। यू डोंट हैव टू रिफर एनी अदर सोर्स फॉर डिजिटाइजेशन ऑफ द लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स। आई हैव कवर्ड एवरीथिंग विद रिस्पेक्ट टू प्रीलिम्स, विद रिस्पेक्ट टू मेंस, एंड कोई भी क्वेश्चन आता है लैंड रिकॉर्ड डिजिटाइजेशन पे, वी कैन कंप्लीटली properly and comfortably attempt that if we can cover this with this discussion in detail. Take a screenshot wherever it is needed, and you can, so that it will help you to revise later. The second point is this would provide clear titles of land ownership that could be monitored easily by government officials, facilitate quicker transactions and reduce disputes. Most importantly, it would reduce construction timelines and overall costs for the developer, the benefits of which can be transferred to consumers, making property prices more attractive. ठीक है? Need for digitization of land record. Why there is a need? There is a high litigation. A World Bank study from 2007 says that some estimates suggest that land-related disputes account for 2/3 of all pending cases in the country. 2/3. Imagine. So this is one reason. Then these land disputes include those related to the validity of land titles and records and right ownership. A Niti Aayog paper suggests that, नीति आयोग को भी हम कोट कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे, it suggested that land disputes on average take about 20 years to be resolved. Imagine कितना ज़्यादा tiresome है land जो related disputes हैं उनको resolution. So land disputes and the burden of the courts tie up land in litigation and further impact sectors and projects that are dependent on these disputes and titles. Agriculture credit के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है that clear land title होना चाहिए, और else credit ही नहीं मिलता है. So land is often used as collateral because land is used as collateral to get the credit. अगर clear title ही नहीं है तो farmer कैसे avail कर सकता है agriculture credit? That is also because of that it is important that digitization of the land records should be taken up. It is also important for development of new infrastructure. Land that was earlier used for farming is now being used to set up industries, power plants, manufacturing units, build roads, housing and shopping malls. तो but जो बहुत सारे several of new infrastructure projects है, they are witnessing delay because of the low clarity about the land titles and land transfers. Fourth जो important point है वो urbanization and the housing shortage है, ठीक है. There is more recently land use is also changing due to urbanization and further expansion of the such urban areas. While census towns are places with urban characteristics, population above 5,000, at least 75% of population engaged in non-agricultural work and population density of at least 400 people per square kilometer. So this is about urban जो की character की बात कर रहा है. So this says that under new schemes of urban development, Amrut वगैरह and smart cities are trying to raise their own revenue through property taxes and land based financing. This further necessitates the importance of providing a system of clear land titles. These are the smart city mission में, Amrut में, these are the activity which is being taken, but it is being thwarted by unclear land titles. So bringing digitization of land record will solve all these problems, and that is why it is needed. बेनामी ट्रांजेक्शन्स भी हो रहे हैं, अगर क्लियर लैंड रिकॉर्ड नहीं है तो बेनामी ट्रांजेक्शन की वजह से देयर इज लॉट ऑफ लॉस ऑफ टैक्सेस आल्सो. सो यू कैन रीड अबाउट वाइट पेपर ऑन ब्लैक मनी. अनयूज्ड लैंड्स पड़े हुए हैं क्योंकि जो है क्लियर टाइटल ही नहीं है, इसलिए लैंड फैलो पड़ा है, ना पे एग्रीकल्चर हो रही है, ना कोई डेवलपमेंटल प्रोजेक्ट लिया जा सकता है, ना ही कोई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट लिया जा सकता है. सो अनयूज्ड लैंड कैन ऑल्सो बी यूज्ड विच इज़ लेफ्ट फैलो. चैलेंजेस क्या हैं डिजिटाइजेशन ऑफ लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स में? बहुत सारे हैं. द ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी एक्ट 1882 प्रोवाइड्स दैट द राइट टू एन इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी कैन बी ट्रांसफर्ड और सोल्ड ओनली बाय रजिस्टर्ड डॉक्यूमेंट. बहुत सारे लैंड का रजिस्टर्ड डॉक्यूमेंट ही नहीं है, तो इसीलिए डिजिटाइजेशन ऑफ लैंड रिकॉर्ड बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. दिस इम्प्लाइज दैट बोनाफाइड प्रॉपर्टी ट्रांजेक्शन्स में नॉट ऑलवेज गारंटी ओनरशिप एज अर्लियर ट्रांजेक्शन कुड बी चैलेंज. सो ये सब चैलेंजेस हैं. डिजिटाइजेशन ऑफ लैंड रिकॉर्ड तब होगा जब लैंड टाइटल्स बहुत क्लियर होंगे. लैंड टाइटल्स क्लियर ही नहीं है तो डिजिटाइजेशन में बहुत मुश्किल है. फॉर एग्जांपल सेल डीड्स आर स्टोर्ड इन रजिस्ट्रेशन डिपार्टमेंट, मैप्स आर स्टोर्ड इन द सर्वे डिपार्टमेंट, प्रॉपर्टी टैक्स रिसीट्स आर विद द रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट. सो जो डिफरेंट लैंड ओनरशिप इस्टेब्लिश थ्रू मल्टीपल डॉक्यूमेंट्स, जो लैंड ओनरशिप होती है उसके लिए मल्टीपल डॉक्यूमेंट्स चाहिए होते हैं. कुछ रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट्स में है, उसके बाद कुछ रजिस्ट्रेशन डिपार्टमेंट में है, जैसे रजिस्ट्रेशन डिपार्टमेंट जो सेल डीड्स एंड स्टोर सेल डीड्स जो होते हैं वो स्टोर होते हैं रजिस्ट्रेशन डिपार्टमेंट में, मैप्स स्टोर्ड हैं सर्वे डिपार्टमेंट में, जो प्रॉपर्टी टैक्स रिसीट है वो रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट से आता है। तो इतना मल्टीपल इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट है, उसकी वजह से जो इन्फॉर्मेशन गैदर करना है और उसको सो दैट डिजिटाइजेशन हो सके लैंड रिकॉर्ड का, इसलिए मुश्किल है कि कोई एक डिपार्टमेंट नहीं है जहाँ पे सारा इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल जाए। देन दीज डिपार्टमेंट्स वर्क इन सिलोज, अब सिंगल अपने में ही काम कर रहे हैं, कोई कोऑर्डिनेशन ही नहीं है, एंड नॉट अपडेट द डेटा इन टाइमली मैनर। तो डिजिटाइजेशन तब होगा जब डेटा अवेलेबल होगा, डेटा अवेलेबल ही नहीं है क्योंकि कोई कोहेरेंसी नहीं, कोई इंटीग्रेशन ही नहीं है इन वर्किंग ऑफ वेरियस डिपार्टमेंट्स, सो दैट इज अनदर चैलेंज। द कॉस्ट ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन प्रॉपर्टी इज हाई, तो लोग रजिस्टर ही नहीं करते हैं। रजिस्ट्रेशन वाइल रजिस्टरिंग अ सेल डीड द बायर हैज़ टू पे स्टैम्प ड्यूटी, तो स्टैम्प ड्यूटी को अवॉइड करने के लिए लोग रजिस्टर ही नहीं करते प्रॉपर्टी को, तो उसकी वजह से भी लैंड टाइटल बहुत सारे डिस्प्यूट हैं। क्रॉस टेस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा है, बहुत हैवी है, 5% to 10% है जो स्टैम्प ड्यूटी है, तो कंपेयर टू 1% 4%, अदर कंट्रीज में 1% 4%, इंडिया में 4% 10%, ये भी एक चैलेंज है। द रजिस्ट्रेशन फीस इन एडिशनल 0.5%, तो रजिस्ट्रेशन फी भी है स्टैम्प ड्यूटी के ऊपर भी 0.5% to 2% ऑन एन एवरेज। Under Registration Act 1908, registration of property is not mandatory for transactions such as acquisition of land by government, property lease for less than 1 year, and heirship partitions. So these are the challenges which are being faced to implement digitization of the land record. What is the way forward? Government efforts कुछ देख लीजिए, बहुत आप you can cite these government efforts. Please take a screenshot of it and you can attach with your article and revise later on. So you can mention land digitization efforts of India, जो स्वामिता स्कीम के बारे में आप मेंशन कर सकते हैं, डिजिटल लैंड रिकॉर्ड, डिजिटल इंडिया लैंड रिकॉर्ड मॉडर्नाइजेशन प्रोग्राम, इसके बारे में भी यूपीएससी क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता है डिटेल में, कभी हम और डिस्कस कर लेंगे। दिस इज मच टू टॉक अबाउट फॉर टुडे। तो यू कैन मेंशन DIL RMP के बारे में, प्रोग्राम के बारे में, समिता स्कीम के बारे में मेंशन कर सकते हैं। और कर्नाटका गवर्नमेंट का, इट इज द फर्स्ट स्टेट इन इंडिया टू कंप्यूटराइज लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स अंडर भूमि प्रोजेक्ट। भूमि प्रोजेक्ट किसका है? कर्नाटका गवर्नमेंट का है। एंड फॉलोड बाय आंध्र प्रदेश, तमिलनाडु, ईयर 2001 में ही मध्य प्रदेश, वेस्ट बंगाल और उड़ीसा आर द बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग इन स्टेट्स इन लैंड रिकॉर्ड डिजिटाइजेशन। सो देर आर सक्सेसफुल एग्जाम्पल्स which can be implemented at pan-India level as well. NLRSI 2020-21 release recently said that nearly all states and union territories, 29 out of 32, showed a gradual improvement in their effort to digitize land records compared to the previous year. You can conclude your answer by this point that a good land record system is a necessity for any harmonious and progressive society. The book would ultimately lead to an improved land governance system, reduction in land disputes, prevention of benami transaction, and वही जो challenges में है उसको यहाँ पे आप mention कर दोगे, a good land record system will help in addressing all those challenges. That will be your conclusion. So these were the 4-5 important articles which needed to be covered today, and काफ़ी होलिस्टिक तरीके से कंटेंट भी है आपके पास। जो भी आर्टिकल्स हमने पढ़े, जैसे UCC लैंड रिकॉर्ड पढ़ा हमने, प्रधानमंत्री सूर्योदय योजना के बारे में पढ़ा, एंड व्हाट एल्स, सिविल सोसाइटी वी हैव ऑलरेडी कवर्ड इन डिटेल, यू कैन गो बैक एंड वॉच द वीडियोस, एंड दिस इज द 4-5 थिंग विच नीडेड टू बी कवर्ड फॉर टुडे। आप इसको एक बार फिर से रिवाइज करिए, टेक अ स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स ऑफ द slide which I have showed, and these 4 articles are covered for you comprehensively. You don't need to read anything else. So happy reading. See you for tomorrow for next session of the Hindu discussion. All the best.